I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I were to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that. So we need to be very careful with artificial intelligence. We are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Doesn't work out.
I can't think of anything personally any cooler than trying to use quantum computers to build intelligent machines, so this is very exciting to me. This is what they look like. There are two of them. These are from our lab in Burnaby in British Columbia. From the outside, they look like giant black monoliths. And they are powered, they have a fridge inside them, a refrigerator that cools these chips to almost absolute zero. Hundreds of times colder than interstellar space. Amongst the coldest and most isolated and extreme conditions that humans have ever been able to engineer. At the heart of this big box is a tiny chip about the size of your thumbnail. And on this chip resides all of the wonder and magic that makes this thing go.
If there's some vast intelligence that either develops a will of its own or is subject to the will of a small number of people, then we could have an undesirable future.
In a quantum computer, that device can be in this strange situation where these two parallel universes have a nexus, a point in space where they overlap. And when you increase the number of these devices, every time you add one of these qubits, you double the number of these parallel universes that you have access to.
If there's a superintelligent, particularly if it's engaged in recursive self-improvement, if there's some digital superintelligence and its optimization or utility function is something that's detrimental to humanity, then it will have a very bad effect.
Until such time when you get to a chip like this, which is about 500 of these bits, you have something like 2 to the 500th power of these guys living in that chip. We've been doing this for some time now, and in fact, we have our own version of Moore's Law. The doubling of the number of these qubits on the chip has happened once a year for the past 9 years. So for the last 9 years, every year, the number of these qubit devices has doubled, and it will continue to do so. As a point of reference, in terms of how fast these things are, in one generation of chip, the one from the system that was installed at USC to the one that Google and NASA have now, the speed of the device went up by almost 500,000.
It's going to come faster than anyone appreciates. I think it's, with each passing year, the sophistication of computer intelligence is growing dramatically. I mean, I really think we're on an exponential improvement path of artificial intelligence. And the number of smart humans that are developing AI is also increasing dramatically.
If you could build one, could solve problems that you could never, ever solve with any computer of the sort that we built.
Like getting rid of spam email or something, and it's like concludes, well, the best way to get rid of spam is to get rid of humans, you know.
But why would we lose
the source of all spam? You know?
If you took every single atom of silicon in the world and made the most sophisticated conventional Intel-style processor that you could build, there are problems we know of that I could write down on a sheet of paper that you could never, ever, ever solve with that thing.
We have now demonstrated using 2 quantum bits inside a silicon chip that we can create these non-classical codes required for a functioning quantum computer. And we have done this with the highest accuracy ever recorded.
2 teams at UNSW, who work side by side, have created 2 types of quantum bit, the basic units of a quantum computer, and each of these has a fidelity or an accuracy of 99% or better.
We have achieved an incredible 99.99% accuracy, which means an average of 1 error every 10,000 quantum operations.
Silicon microelectronics and nanoelectronics underpins all of the information age at the moment, and if you can make a quantum computer using silicon, then you've got a fantastic advantage in terms of manufacturability. It is going to very significantly accelerate the work in silicon.
Why would we lose control over our machines? There are no data points showing that our connection to machine has ever been loosened.
Actually, I think the thing to do would be to plot the progress of digital intelligence versus time, and then to maybe curve fit or extrapolate that progress and see where that leads.
But you're talking about machines that are not just intelligent, but have intentionality. Is that right?
They have the intention of their utility function,
Which
will
is
be
what
absolute.
we programmed in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But it can have unintended consequences.
Do you think robots will take over the world?
Geez, dude. Yo got the big questions cooking today. But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake.
I'm comforted. I'm very comforted now. I'm going to be part of his people's zoo.
We always present computers as if they don't have capabilities of empathy or emotion, but I would think that any intelligent machine would ultimately have experience, that it's a learning machine, and ultimately it would learn from its experience like a biological conscious being, and therefore it's hard for me to believe that it would not be able to have many of the characteristics that we now associate with being human.
AI is much more advanced than people realize, and the pace of progress is much greater than people realize. It'd be fairly obvious if you saw a robot walking around talking and behaving like a person, you'd be like, whoa, that's like, what's that? That would be really obvious. What's not obvious is a huge server bank in a dark vault somewhere with an intelligence that's potentially vastly greater than what a human mind can do. I mean, its eyes and ears would be everywhere. Every camera, every microphone, every device that's network accessible. That's really what AI means. It's not like a robot running around. If we're not careful about the advent of AI, it's possible that there could be what's called a bad utility function. A computer will do exactly what its goal is. Humanity's position on this planet depends on its intelligence. So if our intelligence is exceeded, it's unlikely that we will remain in charge of the planet.
I believe that humanity is on the cusp of the most important technological revolution that's ever occurred. And that's when we got to the point where the machines that we build outpace us in every respect. I don't mean that they're better calculators. I don't mean that they're better at searching. I mean everything. And I think that we're very close. And my prediction is that within 15 years, we will have machines that outpace humans in everything. Thank you very much.
It has given me nightmares, yeah.